In this part, we shall see the Khilafat movement and the non-cooperation movement. So what was the Khilafat movement all about? During those times, the Khalifa of Turkey was considered as the leader of the Caliphate of Sunni Muslims. After the defeat of Turkey in the First World War, there were rumors that the British were mistreating the Khalifa. The Allied countries had pledged not to harm the sovereign of Turkey, but the harsh treatment meted out to him angered the Muslims. Its reaction was seen in India too. Muslims in India under the leadership of the Ali brothers Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali, Maulana Azad, Hakim Ajmal Khan, Hasrat Mohani organized countrywide agitations. An all-India Khilafat conference was held at Delhi in November 1919. At this conference, it was decided to withdraw all cooperation from the government. Gandhiji saw a golden opportunity in the Khilafat movement to bring together the Hindus and Muslims. In the early 1920s, he announced that he would lead a movement of non-cooperation if the peace terms with Turkey were unsatisfactory. In June 1920, an all-party conference met at Allahabad and approved a program of boycott of schools, colleges and law courts. The Muslim League gave full support to the Indian National Congress. On August 31, 1920, the Khilafat Committee launched a non-cooperation movement. So Gandhiji tried to persuade the Congress leaders to adopt a similar plan of action. But this was opposed by leaders like Ch4 Das and Tilak. A special session of Congress was held in September 1920 at Calcutta, where Gandhian plan was adopted despite the opposition from the extremist leaders. The Gandhian plan was promoted in the Congress by Motilal Nehru. This plan included surrender of titles, boycott of schools, courts and councils, boycott of British goods, encouragement to national school, khadi, etc. At the December 1920 session of Congress, Ch4 Das finally accepted the plan adopted at Calcutta. Thus, Gandhiji's position in Congress was now strengthened. Based on this powerful position in the Congress, Gandhi sought to make some organizational changes in the Congress. He drafted a new constitution for the Congress. According to this new constitution, the Congress would be reorganized into various committees as follows. A small 15-member committee, which would be the real executive head. An All India committee of 350 members. Provincial committees and other smaller units of Congress going down till districts, talukas and village level. Thus the elite Congress now took roots right up to the village level. The provincial committees were to be reorganized on linguistic basis, and number of representatives of each provincial committee to the annual session of Congress was fixed in proportion of the population. Gandhiji also made the membership of Congress easy. The annual subscription fee of Congress was made just 4 annas to bring the Congress within the reach of millions of poor. The eligibility of age was reduced to 18 years. After this massive reorganization of the Congress, Gandhi was now ready to take on the challenge of freedom struggle. Let's see the non-cooperation movement. The movement began with student strikes in Calcutta and Lahore. Motilal Nehru and Ch4 Das gave up their legal practice. Subhash Chandra Bose resigned from the civil services. There was a call to boycott foreign goods. Khadi became the symbol of freedom. 20 lakh chaukhas were set up by June 1921. In July 1921, the All India Khilafat Committee passed a resolution that no Muslim should join the British Indian Army. The Ali brothers of the Khilafat movement were arrested in September 1921. The Prince of Wales visited India in November 1921, but he was greeted with hartals and demonstrations. So the angry British government responded by arresting political leaders and putting ban on public meetings and press. The Congress was now debating of adding the element of civil disobedience to the ongoing movement. In January 1922, at Bardoli, Gujarat, under the guidance of Gandhi and Vallabhbhai Patel, about 4,000 men and women adopted a resolution to begin civil disobedience, which included non-payment of taxes and ignoring British laws. However, the non-cooperation movement had to be abruptly ended due to the Ch4 incident. At Ch4 in present-day Uttar Pradesh, 22 policemen were burnt alive by an angry mob. Gandhiji wanted the movement to be completely non-violent, but seeing that the nation was not yet ready for a non-violent movement, Gandhiji called off the movement. The Congress Working Committee met at Bardoli in February 1922 and passed a resolution to stop the movement. Now let's see some regional variations of the movement. The movement had spread deep among the masses and took different shape in different places. In UP, Bengal and Rajasthan, large-scale peasant participation was seen. In Rajasthan's Mewar region, the Bijolia movement won a partial victory in 1922. The Bhil tribal movement under Motilal Tejawat became more militant. In Bengal, peasants under the student leader Someshwar Prasad Chaudhary protested against indigo cultivation. In Midnapur region, Birendranath Sasmal organized no tax campaigns and led an anti-union board agitation. In United Provinces, there were some agrarian riots associated with the peasant upsurge under Baba Ramchandra. The Ikka movement started in Barabanki was taken over by more radical Madari Pasi. In Punjab, the Sikhs led a movement against corrupt Mahants. In Assam, tea plantation labourers went on strike. In Andhra Pradesh's Guntur district, a movement led by Duggirala Gopal Krishnaiah refused to pay municipal taxes. Forest satyagrahas broke out in the Kadapa and Guntur districts. In the Malabar region of Kerala, the Moplas, who were Muslim peasants, led a movement against Hindu zamindars. This movement turned communal. In Bardoli of Gujarat, the movement was non-violent and disciplined. In the next video, we shall see what happened after the non-cooperation movement ended.